Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of configuring uh, Real Studio 2022 for our SQL Server 2022 work. And now one of the biggest questions, generally the Real Studio is the developer tool, why we need it. So once you start building the integration packages, or you build the reports, or you build the analysis services cube, you need the Real Studio. And generally it helps you to build the .NET based application if you are interested or build as part of your database solution, because generally the databases are the backend and they need some front end solution that can help them to expose to the rest of the world. So that's where the Real Studio really come in handy, and we can use it to build some really powerful interfaces to interact with our data and analytical solution, right? So we're gonna see in a moment how it can help us to build it. But as a first step, we need to download. So you can search in Google or in any browser the Visual Studio 2022 Community Edition, because in this exercise we are using 22 version, and because 2022 has been released and for a while it's now stable, so we can use it, right? So let's hit download, and it's gonna download the Visual Studio for us, and we'll see. Yeah, it's in my download folder. I've already downloaded it, but just for this exercise, I did it again, right? So what I'm going to do, let's hit run, and it's going to start the installer. One thing, it's gonna download the actual file, because that's a very thin installer. It won't contain all the required application, but there are multiple options. You can download offline and then install, or you can install it while it's downloading, right? We're gonna see it in a moment. Let me hit continue. Now you can see it's downloading the required file, and then after the downloading has been finished, it's going to install, and then we have the interface that we can use to install the required applications. So let's wait for it to set up the interface for us for the configuration. And by the way, beside code, Visual Studio Community Edition is very powerful in developing the application. If you want to develop in your local system, and most of the, I told you, know that the cloud environments are powerful. But if you are building something for your own learning, sometimes the cloud won't provide you the power that generally you get from your own virtual machines. Because if you want to spin up the similar machine in the cloud, it's going to cost you a fortune, right? So to avoid that cost, you can literally use your own virtual machine to set up everything and then build from there. And once you're finished with that build, you can uplift into the cloud, right? So let's go, and because we are interested in not in gaming, we are interested in the data tool. So you can see we have the connect test SQL Server, Azure Data Lake. Let me see if we have in here. I think that's something I need. Yeah, so because you can see, as soon as I select, I'm interested in SQL Server Data Tools, because that provide these three application stack. One is the integration services, the second one is reporting services, and the third one is the analytical cube development, right? And all of them are very powerful and part of the SQL Server stack, right? So let's hit that, and I think I'm all good. Let me just see if yeah. Okay, all these components are in support, which is good. I'm not going to install any other component because that just put additional pressure on my machine. So on this particular server, I'm only going to keep the SQL Server components, right? So all good. It required 4.58 gig space, and like you can see, download all, then install, like I mentioned earlier, or you can install while downloading. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to install while downloading. So let me just select the default option and hit next. So now it's going to download and install the community edition. I'm gonna pause the video and come back once the installation is finished, because all it's gonna do just download and install the packages and set up the Visual Studio Community Edition, right? So once the installation has been completed, we'll see how it has been installed on our server and how we can configure it further. Welcome back, guys. So you can see the installation has completed, and I can see it is asking me to create an account, or I can sign in. I already have my account, which I'm going to log in, but you can log in or you can create an account if you want to. So, but for this time, I'm just going to click skip it for now. And that's the indicator that the Visual Studio has been installed successfully, because it is asking me to configure my layout and all the settings, which are the personalization of the interface. So which is good. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use it for, because I can't see the SQL Server Development Tools option. So I will just stick with the journal. I'm going to use it. I'm going to use the dark mode. And I'm going to start the Visual Studio, right? Behind, you can see in the background, we have the old screen open, and you can see it has downloaded and it's installed. And as soon as the installation has been finished, you're gonna see the option to modify, launch, or more options, right? Which is more like an uninstall or export and import the configuration. So which is good. We don't need these at this stage. We are, I believe, our Visual Studio has been installed successfully. So let's move it on. Let me just move things a little bit around so I can easily navigate. Yeah. Now, I'm not going to create a new repo, although I can do if I have the GitHub or Azure DevOps sorted, which is really a powerful feature with the Visual Studio, that it is natively integrated with Azure DevOps. So if you have the Azure DevOps instance, you can do the CI/CD of your code, which is amazingly powerful concept, especially with the agile development. We are not going to open. So what I can do, let's continue without code. We don't need any of these options. And there are some release notes. So we have the what's new GitHub code pilot. We don't need that because it's the purchase version. Let me just click OK. And something I want to show you in here, that once you install Visual Studio Community, it doesn't bring the integration services or reporting services project automatically, because if I just try to type integration, you can see I don't have any of these, right? So let me just go and let's see if I can find it out. Yeah, it's not in here. You can see the project is, if I select the SQL, it just show me the SQL project, which is obviously a bunch of the SQL script, which I'm not interested in. I'm all looking for. How about if I'm typing the reporting? Yeah, so you can see reporting is also not available. Yeah, nothing is available. So, that's the something which tell us that we need to do some additional configuration to bring those projects. So what we're gonna do in order to add those additional, because they are called I would say add-ins, or you can call them plugins as well, which allow us to add these extension or plugin into our Visual Studio environment, and they will allow us to create these type of project in the Visual Studio. So what I'll do, let me just hit manage extension. That will extract the information. And now what I can do, how about if I just, now integration. Yeah, so you can see the integration services is available. Let me just click download, and it's going to take me to the Microsoft website, and it's going to download this integration services extension for us, or plugin for us, right? So while it is downloading, let me just go and search the reporting, because we will do the reporting work as well. Yeah, Microsoft Reporting Services project template. By the way, that is not the reporting services. Keep in mind, it will allow you to create the reporting project that you can deploy once you finish with the development in the production environment. So Visual Studio allow you to create the reports through the reporting services tool, and that tool has a component or extension available as part of the Visual Studio. We also have the RAG tool, which allow us the report builder, which allows us to build the operational report and some sort of I would say analytical report, but that is a separate component. We're going to look at the reporting separately, right? But this is just like the project template, which allows to create the project, not the actual reporting services or any component which is linked with the reporting services. That's a completely separate tangent, right? So I'm going to download that as well. And last but not the least, analysis. And by the way, analysis services is the feature that will allow you to create the multidimensional or tabular based cubes using the SQL Server. Very powerful concept. Microsoft has already released the analysis services in the cloud environment, so you can literally enhance your capabilities. If you are limited by the hardware, you can utilize the cloud-based the analysis services, and it provide all the feature. It can link behind the Power BI, and you can use it as a data source for your Power BI dashboard, right? So once we reach to that point, we're going to discuss that. But at this stage, because I'm finishing my configuration, I'm just going to download that as well. So there are 3 extensions that I need to configure as part of my Visual Studio, right? So let me just close it off. And now what I can do about, if I can just, close this off. By the previously, it will install automatically as part of the config as part of the extension configuration. But now Microsoft has changed it with 2022. Now it will allow you to download, and then you can install it like any other installation process, right? So let me see if once it's finished the downloading of the analysis, I'm going to install, but let's start with the integration. So the steps are going to be same. We have downloaded the data tool integration services, and you can see it's trying to set it up my integration services extension. The wizard is gonna pop up soon. Yeah, I can see it. Yeah. United States is the default one. I'm happy. Yeah. Let's click next. Yeah, I'm going to install as part. So now that's why we installed the Visual Studio Community Edition first, because we need it as part. It won't work in the isolation environment. You need the Visual Studio, and Community Edition is fine for us because we are not going to publish anything for the production or business purposes. It's all about education. So we are safe. We can use Community Edition, right? Keep in mind, you can work with all the tools free of cost with Microsoft. That's a great thing. Until unless you are not using it for the profit able purposes or the business purposes. Anything which relates to the business purpose or profitable objective, the courtesy or the moral values, we need to go and buy the license, and then we can obviously utilize it for the production purposes, right? But because for any dev or any educational purposes, Microsoft is very generous. Like other big tech, they provide every tool free of cost with limited capability, of course, that you can use it to play around with the technology. You can understand, and then you can obviously, once you are comfortable, you can go and purchase the license, and you can publish it for the business. So let me hit install because that will install this extension on my system. I will give it a couple of minutes. It's gonna take that time to install it on my machine. I'm gonna pause the recording in here because it will save the time. All right, guys. So the setup has been finished successfully, and you can see it is asking me to restart my server because that's the requirement. And once we reboot and come back, it's we are able to create the integration service project within our Visual Studio Community Edition. So I'm going to restart the server now. Let me see. Yeah, it's gonna complain about. Okay, yeah, I was too quick. Let's see. I think it's going to complain. Yeah, it's saying, yeah, let me just cancel it and properly. I'm not going to save it because it's just a simple query. Let me properly close the app and then I'll go and I'll restart. So all good. I'm gonna restart and I'll come back once the server is up and running again. All right, welcome back, guys. The server is up and running after reboot, and let me just go and open the Visual Studio Community Edition. And now what we're gonna see as a difference. Now, if I create a project, I'm able to see the SQL Server Integration Services template as part of the available project templates within the SQL Visual Studio environment. So let it get uploaded. And you can see that's one of the reasons why I didn't install other component, because obviously we are putting a couple of tools on our dev server. So it's going to make it heavy. So especially with Visual Studio Community Edition and SQL Server. And later on, we're going to install Power BI as well, reporting services. So then these all tools, they're going to make the server really overloaded in terms of the resources. Just give a couple of minutes till we have the Visual Studio coming back. Yeah, it's still loading. But guys, so the Visual Studio is up and running now. What I'm going to do, like I did before, I'm going to continue without selecting any default option. But this time, if I go in here and hit new project, and guess what? We're gonna see a new option in our available templates that we can use to build the integration. So you can see the very first option I'm able to see in here is the Studio Integration Services, Azure Enable and Channel Integration Services project. And we can also create the Visual Studio project wizard. What I'm going to do, let's start with the Azure Enable, right? So let's hit next. I'm not going to put in the repo. I will create it into, let me go into my work and I'll create a folder. SQL Server Workspace, operation services. And in here, I'm going to create my first project, which is going to be, let's say, let me just call it AG ETL framework. All right, so you can put the name based on your own naming convention. I'm just creating that here as a place solution. I'm going to keep it in the separate directory. So that's my location where I'm creating, and let me just create it. It's now creating the first project. Hopefully everything will work out of the box, and we are able to see the integration service package, a blank canvas in shortly. So I don't need the So you can see on my screen, I'm able to see the ETL project template, which we normally use with the SQL Server integration services, and it will allow you to build the ETL solution within SQL Server. So let's wait for this to connect to. No, I'm not going to connect with Azure at this stage. That's a later steps. Okay, perfect. So you can see the canvas is available. I have the control flow, data flow, parameters, a journal, and ETL package screen that we can use to build the ETL packages, right? I'm just waiting for that toolbar to be loaded. And you can see the information, the project is showing is the SQL Server 2017. We're gonna upgrade it to 22 because that's what we are using. And it's slow because I have allocated less resources to my server due to the other things which are running. I'll see if I can increase the resource to my server so you guys are able to see things quickly. But the good thing that you can see we have all the tools available, and as usual the Azure option is disabled. I've already recorded a video where you're gonna see how you can enable that information, and I'll show you in the next video once we start working on the ETL package from the ETL perspective, right? I'm going to fix that 2017 in next video as well. So but in this video you can see we have successfully installed and configured the SSIS tool on our server, and now we can use it without any problem, right? So if you have any question, feel free to put your comments. Happy to answer. Otherwise, thanks for watching and stay tuned for the next one.